Okay, it's been a few days since the new I Know What You Did Last Summer movie hit, and I have some thoughts about it. I didn't care for it. It didn't hook me, you could say. Fisherman pun. I gave it a review stating it's watchable at best and insultingly terrible for the franchise at its worst. But I also don't really care much about this franchise, so take those comments with a grain of salt. I am going to, in this video, go through and spoil the crap out of it though. So if you already watched the movie, join me and we'll go through this misery together. If you haven't watched the movie, well, I warned you. Spoiler, it plays out a lot like the original, like all these requels do. These soft reboots, these legacy sequels. But before I dive in, if you wouldn't mind grabbing your trusty pole and hooking on to that subscribe and reeling it in, I would appreciate it. You can find my show here on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. It's free of charge across all the platforms. It's quite a lovely deal. The other charming thing about these spoiler videos is I try to go right off of the old memory, which is depleting by the day. And since it's now been 48 hours since I watched this film, I've basically forgotten everything. The good news for me is I remember the original well enough, and since this plays out the same way to start, we can dive in there. We open with what is essentially the exact same shot from the first film. Shocking. We're back in Southport, North Carolina, the place where the magic happened all those years ago. When I watched this movie in the theaters and I found something moving around in my pants after seeing Jennifer Love Hewitt raise her arms up and yell, "What are you waiting for, huh?" Truly a special time in cinema for me. And now to go back, all these years later, back to where it all started. The Matrix. I mean, Southport. God, we've been legacying the shit out of all these movies, haven't we? It's so utterly depressing. Instead, though, of seeing someone at the tippy top of some rocks looking like they want to jump off, I envy that person, we meet our new female protagonist for the film. Her name is Ava, I think. I forgot the names of all the characters in this. I do have IMDb up. That's the only cheating I'm doing. And I don't really know if this is the right actress, but I'm going to go with Ava. Some characters I'll just give nicknames because I'm lazy like that. She's trying to pick out the perfect dress because her best friend is engaged. Ooh. The first ensemble is quite lovely on her. The only problem is there seems to be a jizz stain on the side. So she goes with the blue one and I'm like, all right, this one's a little bit worse, but I'm still in. I really like this on her. She takes that one off and puts on this disgusting looking bright ass lime green looking piece of shit. And I said to myself right then and there, only a minute into this film, if she picks this outfit, we're in trouble, folks. Because that means the people who made this do not have the right eye for what works and what doesn't. And as luck wouldn't have it, that's exactly what she went with. So I know what Ava didn't do last summer. Go shopping for a good wardrobe. After a lovely bridal shower. Or wedding. I don't actually know what it was. I told you, it's been over 48 hours. My brain is leaking out my ear. Something happens. They have a little party. And then on the 4th of July, just like in the original movie, the gang gets together in the car and they drive up to this point that one of the characters takes the time to mention is an incredibly dangerous road with a lot of accidents. So what do these dipshits do? They park the car essentially in the middle of the road, get out onto the road, and watch the fireworks in the middle of the night. What? And wouldn't you know it, a car manages to drive by, freaks out, what the fuck? Smashes off of the side of the cliff and probably dies. So the new protagonists of this movie are fucking idiots. I wasn't really impressed with the OG cast when a couple of them got drunk and they hit a guy crossing the road, but at least I could see that scenario playing out in a real world situation. What is this? Is this something teenagers do now? They just stop the car in the middle of the road and get out and watch the fireworks? What? How does this story get put pen to pad? There wasn't even a shoulder on this road. Before this truck goes over the edge though, the driver grabs, I think Teddy's shirt, maybe not Teddy's, someone's shirt gets pulled over the side. And honestly, I don't even remember if that shirt comes back into play. I thought that was gonna be a thing. In the first movie, the killer grabs Sarah Michelle Gellar's crown and pulls it into the water with him, forcing one of the guys to dive in and retrieve it. Otherwise, that could be a way to get traced back to them. This shirt just gets pulled over the edge. Maybe I'm misremembering. Let's move past it because it could be completely inconsequential. I just remember that being a thing in the film and then them not really mentioning the shirt ever again or being worried that it could be tied back through DNA or whatever. And of course, since this is basically a reboot to the first movie, we do have all the same types of characters back. You have the budget Sarah Michelle Gellar character who's always showing off the goods, not fully. This is rated R, but we don't do nudity anymore because fuck me, I guess. I have nothing else in my life. We have the somewhat wild card Teddy, who was really the only character I enjoyed in this film. He was fun. He was a fun guy. He's the rich, bratty kid. You have Milo, who's about as exciting as a bag of dirt. And then there's Stevie, the estranged friend who comes along for the ride. When we meet Stevie, she's hanging out with some other girl. I kind of got a gay vibe from them, but I think half of this cast is gay anyways. Not that it matters. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just wasn't really understanding the point of the friend in this movie because she will show up again later. I thought maybe she was gonna end up being a killer. Maybe she was working with Stevie and they were a duo. No, she's just there at one other point and really has nothing consequential to do. A red herring, I suppose you could say. And that's one thing I'll give the movie credit for. There's quite a few characters in this movie who are set up to potentially be the killer. The first movie really only had Max that fit that role. Otherwise, you just didn't know who was doing it, and the reveal of who the killer was kind of lame because we never met him, we never saw him at any point. It was just a connection to something else completely. Here, though, we know exactly who the killers are. I said killers plural. We'll get to that. And then I brought up Ava earlier. She's essentially the new model of Julie. But she's no fucking Julie, I'll tell you that. She is no Jennifer Love Hewitt from 20 years ago. Not Jennifer Love Hewitt now, 20 years ago. But we do have the OG Julie and Ray showing up. They're back. We gotta bring the old cast back. And not only are these two here, we also have a surprise cameo. Boom, 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 boom. From Sarah Michelle Gellar. That's right, Helen Shivers is back, baby. And I gotta tell you, Sarah is absolutely radiating still. This woman has not missed a step. She might have had a glow up. Listen, I was always squarely in the Jennifer Love Hewitt camp, but I think I moved over to Buffy. I think I'm into SMG now. Short for Sarah Michelle Gellar. And I'm just realizing for the first time that her initials are SMG. That's freaking cool. Sarah Michelle Gellar. SMG. After the horrific killing takes place, we of course, just like the original, have to fast forward a year. And here we are with the cast fully recovered from those events, not talking about it again. And we see Ava making out in a bathroom stall with a girl? What? Are you ready for it? Boom, boom, boom. What we have here with I Know What You Did Last Summer is a strong female gay lead. And for the I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise, quite frankly, it's about time. So brave. So progressive. What this has to do with the story, I'm sure I don't know, but I was into it. She's making out with this mystery girl who does a podcast about serial killers. That doesn't sound sketchy at all. And she's going to do one as we speak on Southport about the 90s killings. Isn't this conveniently timed? She's the killer, I thought. And then I thought, no, it's too easy. It's too stupidly easy. She was not the killer. She dies pretty hard. In fact, I think they killed her off too soon. It would have been nice to let that play out more, keep that as a potential suspect, because she was the most interesting one. It's also really sad she died because now she won't be able to do a podcast on the massacre that took place in the movie theater at the concession stand where I was at. Because you see, AMC does a full 30 minutes of trailers for most movies now. We were only 10 minutes into the trailers when I decided, in my infinite wisdom, that I should take a potty break and beeline it all the way to the other side of this giant place and get myself a soda. And so I did that. I'm doing the fast shuffle walk down the aisle. I got time. I don't even wear a watch, my phone. I got time. And thankfully, I am an AMC Stubs member, which makes me better than everyone. It's like I have the fast pass at Disney World. I get to walk by all the idiots in the regular line. I got a golden ticket. Have fun waiting for me to order my soda, jackass. And wouldn't you know it, there's no one in my fast pass line. I walk right up there while there's a bunch of schmucks waiting in line behind this one family. Unfortunately, I'm also waiting behind this one family, and I did not know at the time what I do know now, that these people were the worst. I waited, and I waited, and I waited some more for this dumb biznatch to order a fucking coffee. She asks the guy, do you have coffee? The guy looks at her a little perplexed. Jared, do we have coffee? Jared's like, no one's ever asked that before, ever in the history of working here for 10 years. I think? Oh, well, what size is the coffee? Just one size, I believe. Jared, one size. Yep, thumbs up from Jared. Can I see the size? Boom! Bombshell hits. I know I'm in for a long haul here. Now, I can either get out of the line and go all the way back to the other end of the screening, or I can just plant firm because I know I just have to get past this one set of people and then I'm next in line. All these other people might have been here before me, but I am a premium pass holder. I have the Stubbs pass. The guy brings out the cup and shows her the size. She's not impressed, in which I was gonna say, hey, listen, bitch, it's not about the size of the cup, it's how you use it. But she didn't use it, she losed it. Which prompted her fourth question of 50 questions. She started prattling on and on to the break of dawn about 15 different types of drinks that I've never even heard of before. This guy looks like he wants to kill himself, and I'm just thinking, get in line, buddy. Not this line, that line. I'm first up to take myself out. The problem with all of this is she's only one person in a squad of fucktards. The sun is waffling between a bottle of water and an icy. Healthy? Sugary. Healthy? Bad for me. Which way do I go? I know where you can go. You can go fuck yourself out of this line. These people never turn around once. They know what they're doing, and they do not care. After what is an eternity of them ordering 4 bottles of water, a hot dog, and a churro, which I don't even think they had there, but somehow Jared got one. These idiots march of the penguins their ass out of the line. Okay, the register's opened. Now, preferably there would be 2 regs, short for registers. One for me, the Stubbs premium account holder, and one for the minions, the lesser thans. The guy looks between the long line and the me line and says, I can help whoever's next. He put the ball in my court. I am a priority target customer, and he had the cojones to put that shit on me. There's a woman next to me in line. There's a woman next to me. What kind of gentleman would I be? If I didn't let her, I'm next. I walk up. No, I'm joking. I did let her go first. And thankfully, she had a very quick, concise order, but the damage was already done. These people, these privileged, arrogant sons of bitches took all of my time. Nicole Kidman has already crossed the threshold. She is already sitting down by herself miserably in that AMC screen, in that commercial for the movie theater I'm already in, and I know I am missing this movie. So now, much like that dumbass kid, I gotta weigh my choices. Do I rush with my soda and make it back to my seat, only missing maybe the first 20 seconds of the film? Or do I kill all of these people to send a message? Bad movie, good for me. Bad movie, good for Sting. I pull out the hook just like the fisherman uses in the movie to kill the dumb teenagers. How did I get it? Jared had that too. Thanks, Jared. Oh, I just poked myself. I run full bore Flash style sprint. Not that goofy ass weird shit from the new Flash. Any of the other entries will do fine. I do an enhanced Fortnite jump, waving the arms like I'm in vertical limit with Christopher O'Donnell, and I plant that fucking hook right through the skull of the woman. It does not kill her. It certainly doesn't make her stronger, Kelly Clarkson. I pull it out. I stab it into the kid's left shin. And then I take it into his calf. The father. Oh! Son! I put it up under his jaw. Looks like I caught a big one. And I rip his entire skeleton frame out of his skin suit. It crumples to the ground like an old-timey cartoon, and then it pops up with a cane and a top hat. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. I stop and laugh at the shenanigans for a second. It's nice to laugh once in a while. I got up the daughter like a fish because I'm a fisherman. It is at this point where some of the other customers realize I might be the villain here. This is my villain arc, and they start to bum rush me. I bust out a second hook, and now it's like I'm working at Benihana's, just slicing and dicing through these jackasses. It comes back to me like Thor's hammer. And after the carnage is finished, and I'm left looking on at the mass amount of bodies piled up around me, covered, soaking head to toe in blood, a slow clap can be heard off in the distance. And who should appear before my eyes out of the shadows? A perky, beautiful, luscious Jennifer Love Hewitt. I take her in my arms, I lean her over, and I start to passionately make out with her, only to wake up minutes later realizing I have the hook in my hand and I'm kissing that. Because earlier, when I slapped it onto my skull, I got some temporary brain damage, blacked out, and this is where we're at in life. Fictitious massacre aside, the good news in the end of this was I did actually make it back to my seat just as Nicole Kidman was sending me off. Why was there so many trailers? How was there so many trailers? I don't know, but I made it for the entirety of the film. Probably didn't need to sprinkle in this long aside about the spoilers of this movie, but here we are. Subscribe. Where the hell was I? Oh yeah, Podcast Girl died. But the first victim in this film is the brand new husband of the new Sarah Michelle Gellar, Titty McTitterson. I forgot her actual name, but that one works. He is killed in a brutal way with a spear hook. He's dragged onto the floor. He gets shot again. It's a whole thing. You saw this in the trailer. It's the best kill in the movie by a landslide. The secondary one would be Teddy. Teddy dies pretty brutally too. At his parents' mansion in the backyard, he starts to fight off the villain for a little bit, but unfortunately he can't handle Freddie Prinze Jr.'s strength. It's kind of a hard pill to swallow, but yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr., he's one of the killers in this movie. The good guy in the first movie. They did the whole subverting of expectations. Love when that happens. Love when a character's completely changed off screen. He, along with a secondary killer, Stevie, the reject from the friend group, who they then brought back into the friend group, and she was still mad at them, they take out all the new class. And the reason they do this is because Ray had so much emotional baggage, and the only way he knew to release it was to remind the town of what happened. A town that had the audacity to put it in the rear view mirror. The events of the past are in the past, man. We're in the future. Everybody's rich as fuck in this movie. That's just another aside about modern Hollywood films. Really love seeing every single movie where the person is rich beyond belief. They have rich parents. They live in insanely expensive multi-million-dollar mansions. Really makes me feel like a piece of shit. Legitimately, every house in this movie is insanely expensive. But I digress. Ray takes Stevie under his wing. We learn through exposition right away that Stevie lost everything to her dad. Her dad's a piece of shit. This is going to be the ongoing theme in the movie because people aren't sick of this bullshit yet, where most of the male characters are messed up, and if they just would have talked about their feelings, we wouldn't have this problem. It becomes much more pronounced in the final insulting scene of the film. After Boobs McGee's husband's killed, I think her name is actually Danica, a name I should absolutely remember. She and Ava try to figure out what is going on, and that's when Danica gets a note. And it says, I know what you did last summer. This is just gonna be wash, rinse, repeat now from the first movie. The killers, plural, start to pick them all off. This film has a massive crush on Sarah Michelle Gellar's Helen character. They remind us of Helen all throughout this movie. Photos of her sprinkled on, her gravestone, flashbacks. We even get a dream sequence where Danica, who's never met this woman before, gets to talk to her. What? It's probably the most forced cameo I've ever seen. But since Sarah Michelle Gellar was the best part of the first film, I guess fine. whatever, this movie is already dumb, might as well go full ham. They determine that the cops cannot help them because of some cockamamie reason that never really makes much sense, so they start to investigate on their own. Ava teams up with the podcast chick she made out with, and that's not gonna last much longer because podcast chick, as I talked about earlier, dies. This happens while Ava is stuck inside of a giant mouse trap. And unfortunately for podcast, that's a wrap. After a couple of murders, it's become increasingly clear that they need to bring out the big guns. And by big guns, I mean the ones that Jennifer Love Hewitt is rocking. She's back, baby! We got her! Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. both enter the fray around the same time at a town hall meeting. Ray appearing to be sympathetic to these teenagers. He's going to attempt to help them too, but he's really playing them. He wants to slowly and meticulously break them apart and then kill them with his best friend Stevie. Meanwhile, Jennifer Love Hewitt's Julie James doesn't have a whole lot to do. She just kind of frumpily walks to and fro in the scene, trying to look like a threat, like a badass, but just wearing a leather jacket unfortunately does not make you much of a threat, lady. Also kind of odd that she doesn't even have a knife or a gun that she keeps on her, considering the trauma she went through. And that oddity is going to be more apparent when we get to the final act, which I might as well get to, because honestly, it's just a bunch of lame kills in between. We end, much like the first movie, again on a boat. Stevie has just unmasked herself to her old friends Danica and Ava. Good thing Ray's there to help. He shoots Stevie, knocking her into the water. They think he's on their side, but it was a phantom shot. It was a rope-a-dope. Stevie will return for I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. That's the title I'm going with. There hasn't been one confirmed yet, but since they titled the fourth movie the same as the first, I imagine the fifth movie will be titled the same as the second because this is stupid! Oh, and also, I don't think they're counting the third one as canon, so technically this is the third movie in the franchise. Make it make sense. I don't honestly know what happened to Danica at this point. I think she survived. Ava, I know, lives. She's the final girl. I think she's talking to Danica at the end of the movie. But anyway, we're going to get to the scene at Ray's place in his little shop that he's at. He is having a 1v1 with Ava, and it looks like all hope is lost. But thankfully, Jennifer Love Hewitt's spider tits are tingling. She thinks to herself, something's not adding up. Wait a second, I should check into Ray. He seemed really sketchy earlier. She goes to her computer, doesn't even type into Google. A screen just is there with Ray hugging his best friend Stevie, and ding! The light bulb goes off. She heads over to stop him, doesn't bring a weapon with. Instead, she has the power of words. She confronts Ray and says the thing. What are you waiting for? Huh? What are you waiting for? What is he waiting for? And what was she waiting to happen? All he has to do is hook her ass now, and he's about to, but Ava, shot out of a cannon, stops him, and he finally is killed somehow. I also forgot how he's killed. Because again, this movie is so forgettable, and I have the memory of a goldfish. It's fun getting older. Before Ray dies, though, he does let it slip that he didn't actually kill Stevie, because they go, you shot Stevie, and he goes, did I? Did I? We end on the beach with Ava, and I think Boobs McGee, I think that's her still, Danica or whatever. This is some of the poorest dialogue in not only this movie, but in a slasher I've seen in quite some time, where they're jokingly talking about how Stevie's still alive and they have to hunt her down and kill her. I suppose we have to. Lol, easy. Nah, I win. This is only a day after several people they have loved are killed, including the brand new husband. In fact, I'm pretty sure Danica lost 2 men in her life that she wanted to marry. That's one way to tell the audience there's going to be a sequel with Stevie, even though we don't see Stevie do the whole I Know What You Did Last Summer slash across the screen reveal. No, instead we have a post-credit scene where Jennifer Love Hewitt shows up at Brandy's house. Brandy's back, baby! Jennifer Love Hewitt rocking a new leather jacket. This time she's in her huntress phase. And Brandy only has a couple words. All right, who we gonna kill? Boom! I Know What You Did Last Summer title drop comes on. Everybody's excited to leave the theater. And there you have it. I Know What You Did Last Summer. The checks notes fourth, third entry into this pretty shitty franchise. Let me know if you saw this movie and your thoughts on it. Maybe you were higher on it than I was. I know some people are enjoying this one, and I don't knock you for that. This just did not work for me, and I'm very expressive with my opinion. Subscribe. And I would appreciate it if you did for real. On YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you love what I'm doing, there's other ways to support, including Patreon, and I would appreciate it. All right. Hopefully I see you next time. Take care.